Hello, everybody, and welcome to the inaugural season of the NASCAR Class C Maconi Setup Shop Fixed Series. This is the first of many seasons for this recently rebranded series, and we are excited to be bringing you the top split action from the weekly Strength of Field race. What this is the cream of the crop where all of the top drivers are expected to compete for race wins, division championships, and the overall title of the series. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you action from all types of racing, including the weekly Fast Friday series. No matter what you are racing, we can bring the action to life. My name is Joey Atterbury, and joining me in the booth is David Kreutz. Ryan Bauer working the controls as our producer, and he's using camera angles provided by Dougie Beard. And we're also going to be having a special guest with us later tonight. Joining us is going to be Chris Ferguson, real-world dirt late model racer, going to give us his thoughts and help us call a little bit of the action on this virtual racetrack. And David, iRacing just made a huge update to this dirt model, and we're here at Knoxville. Give us a little bit of a rundown on this place.
It's a great way to start off for Maconi Setup Shop Fixed Series, and what a way it will be. It's a great track here in Knoxville, Iowa. 56/100ths of a mile. Track was opened in 1954, and since then the configurations remain largely the same. Now, we've seen events for the NASCAR Truck Series in real life in the past before, but tonight we're taking these virtual trucks out. We'll see how well they handle. And as you mentioned, big changes to the iRacing dirt system. It's a new physics model, going to be a different grip and feel for all these drivers. 7 degrees of banking in the corners and a seating capacity of over 21,000 virtual fans to go alongside our broadcast here at Maconi Entertainment. 50 laps, 2 laps of qualifying, and it looks like we're watching it now as the drivers get back on their way in their Truck Series machines.
Yeah, we do have qualifying going on the racetrack, and what we're going to be seeing tonight is the NASCAR Craftsman trucks. This is a 50-lap race at Knoxville that will vary depending on what the track is each week, but no fast repairs. That means if you pick up damage out there, you're going to have to live with it or come down to pit road. But of course, there's that penalty where everybody goes and passes you while you're in pit road. One green-white checkered attempt if we need it, and of course, it is a fixed setup series. It's that NASCAR Class C Maconi Setup Shop Fixed Setup Series. So that means all of the trucks, they're identical underneath them. It's all up to the driver to maximize their speed, cut that lap time down, and beat everybody else on the racetrack. And right now, David, you mentioned it, we got qualifying going on. It's 5 laps of qualifying that we see here, and 5 minutes, and only 2 laps of those 5 minutes will count.
And only 2 laps to make the most of what these guys have. And for some drivers, experience might not be their strongest suit with this new update being so recent. We've got a total over 20 of our best Truck Series drivers right now. Looks like about 19 of which have taken times, and they're all within a very close gap to one another. Looks like qualifying is only spread by a few tenths at the moment in about the 20-second range, very close to that number. And it's a very short track, as you mentioned, but the handling, we're looking for the long run. The short run, it's great to be a hot lap hero, but with the race that we have ahead of us being 50 laps, I'm not quite sure if what we're seeing right now is an indicator of who's going to come home with that checkered flag, or if it's just a flash in the pan.
Looks like for the most part, everybody's going to be done with qualifying. They've already ran their 2 laps, or they're not going to be able to get their time in. And that's going to bring us up our official starting grid. And right now on pole position is going to be Oliver Cordell in that number 13, Max Brady joining him on the front row in the number 11. Then we've got Timmy Holmes in 3rd place, Lee Herron in 4th, Ryan Doucette in 5th, Ryan Andrews 6th, Justin Botello here 7th, Blaze Crawford 8th, Kendall Carpenter and Zeke Willis on your 5th row.
And starting the top 10, we mentioned it, Zeke Willis the last of which. Then we go down to John Hall in 11th with Sean Rafferty in position number 12. Going to be Jackson Crowder who's in 13th. Right beside him, going to be James Floyd in position number 14. Brandon Gibbs to round out your top 15, and that will lead us to Julian Valdez in 16th, and then it's going to be Sylvian Saborn in position number 17. 18th is going to be Mark Frimhook.
Then we got Jordan Kuntz, a few more back here in 19th. Garrison Hogan, Logan Banfield, and Daniel Mosteler. That's going to round out the 22 cars that we've got in our strength of field race. Check out Knoxville, lit up in a beautiful night. 78 degrees track temperature, a nice cool muddy 70 degrees. So very beautiful night to go racing under the lights out here. I can't wait to see all of the action that we're going to have out on the racetrack. And look at how wide this place is, David. I think we're going to see bottom feeders as well as the ones that are rim riding it up around the cushion.
I'd have to agree with that, and when it comes down to the start of the race, there might not be a choice. Who knows what it's going to take to lead that first lap. This is a big stage for some of the big drivers in the iRacing Oval community, so we might see some tempers flare from the beginning. We're no stranger to seeing that on dirt track racing, whether or not it's virtual or real. As the pace car gets on its way, the pace truck tonight gets on its way. We're looking forward to one great race, and the stakes are as high as ever.
You mentioned it. We are rolling on the racetrack, and what a great time to mention Maconi Setup Shop and Maconi Entertainment. Head on over to www.maconisetupshop.com, the home for setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, event promotion, and more on the iRacing service, the official setup shop of eNASCAR. So go on over there. They have subscriptions available as low as $8 a month to help you drop your lap times and improve your finishes on the racetrack. So happy to have this Class C fixed series. And David, we're getting ready to go green flag racing. What are you expecting to see here in the first 5 laps?
I'm expecting to see some big time aggression. A lot of drivers have to figure out this track and this combination. The dirt formula on iRacing is brand new. Some drivers might have been good before. We'll see whether or not they stay that way. All the changes lead to such a big shift, and who's the best and who might be with the rest. Pace truck going to be off this time by. We've got your front row rolling this time through. Let's get it going for the inaugural start here in the Maconi Setup Shop C-Fix Series. We're underway here at Knoxville.
Yeah, green flag, and it looks like Oliver Cordell out front as the fireworks go off, and we are racing here at Knoxville. A beautiful sight, and we're already 2-3 wide, a little bit further back in the pack, but it looks like 4th place is our first trucks that are really too wide. I take that back. Timmy Holmes trying to make this low groove work down in that number 1 truck.
And he makes it work quite well. They're just getting things started. They're moving up, down, all around. The fireworks are going off, but it looks like Cordell has fired off very well, working his way down double file, this time through right behind it with Timmy Holmes and Max Brady. It looks like now Holmes is going deep for it. He wants his lead, and he wants it fast.
And something you mentioned earlier, this track is going to change, so I feel like where the trucks are running right now might not be representative of where they're going to be running at the end of the race. And something to notice, I want to get in contact with the pyrotechnics expert at Knoxville Speedway, because they continue to go off there. I'm impressed by this fireworks show. I wonder if this is one of the malfunctioning fireworks displays, David.
It's a fantastic display to go with some fantastic racing. Cordell goes up the track, and we've got a side-by-side battle for the lead as they go 3 wide behind. Now it's going to be Timmy Holmes taking that lead as they shuffle it continuously back of our frame. Now Ryan Doucette looking for the podium places. They're oh so close, and it's getting even more exciting. Look at them go down the back here in Knoxville.
Yeah, Timmy Holmes overtook Oliver Cordell for the lead, but you're right. Look at the gaggle of cars we've got from 3rd through 10th place. That's Lee Heron, Ryan Doucette, Ryan Andrew, Max Brady, Blaze Crawford, Justin Botello, all just in this scrum here, coming off of turn number 2. And I'm already seeing the racetrack change a little bit. The drivers were really using that bottom groove, and now we're starting to see that number 22 kind of use the middle a little bit, as well as two wide racing, kind of all grooves working the same speed.
And all working together with a different line. That's what we see in dirt racing. It's not like asphalt. Track progression, it comes quick, and it's a very specific form of racing where you can in fact see the change, and the viewers might be able to tell that some of the color of the dirt is changing, and you can see where you want to be and where you don't want to be. They're packing the dirt during the middle segment of the corners, and then they go off from the higher to the low. That seems to be the preferred groove right now. Timmy Holmes really knows what he prefers. He's trying to build a gap already. He's got that thing all sideways coming down the line once again.
Once Timmy Holmes got out into clean air, he's really just kind of ran his own pace. And looking, I think, a little bit further back, I believe this is Ryan Andrew overtaking Max Brady on the racetrack. But Ryan's still working the very, very low side of the racetrack. He's in that number 88, and we've got our first caution, first yellow flag. Believe maybe this is Brandon Gibbs. I mean, Sean Rafferty in the number 43 having some problems.
And Rafferty, as it stands, pretty far back, because we're going to get an instant replay here in Maconi Entertainment. Looking back at it as it stands, the 43 getting a good drive off, and he makes some contact and gets hooked up. And that's going to bring out our first yellow in this series. Not the way you want to see it happen, but it looks like that's what it's going to come down to. A big hook up the track, and we got our first yellow here in Knoxville.
Dirt racing is a little bit like a dance. And you see Rafferty go way down low. Then this car up top here is going to have a huge head of steam, and just two cars going for one place. Unfortunately, both of them with heavy damage, but brings out our first opportunity for any varying strategy on the racetrack. I don't think we're going to see anything here with this dirt model, because the pit stops, you're not really going to gain a bunch with new tires. It doesn't really work the same way as pavement does.
And that is indeed the truth. The pit cycle here might be different than any other week this season. Most often, a short run doesn't really bring out the worst in tire, but in dirt, it could be much, much different. iRacing in the very early stages of the new physics system here with these dirt machines, and we might see some guys go down the back. So far, your top two, Holmes and Cordell, are staying strong out in front. Seems like they know what they want out of the trucks, and they'll just keep it the way it's going at the moment.
Looks like we're lining up side by side for a restart, and I've been looking at the track, and it looks like primarily where the wear is coming in currently is actually on corner entry. Corner exit and down the straightaways is looking okay, but seems like right where the trucks are really starting to put some yaw angle into it, that's where the track is starting to get grooved out just a little bit. But right now, it's all Timmy Holmes, and he's already on the gas with one heck of a jump over the entire field. He's straight back to the point as we're racing one more time at Knoxville Raceway. That's Oliver Cordell in second place, along with Lee Heron in third, Max Brady fourth, and then Ryan Doucette is trying to fend off both Ryan Andrew and Blaze Crawford as we're three wide coming up out of four.
And it looks like they are going to go no strings attached here in Iowa. They're all going right back in the pack with some big banging. They save it in the middle of it. It's going to be a big time shuffle. They're about four wide. I got the number 12 machine of Sylvian Saborn, and they're tagging right behind him. Logan Banfield gets away from it, but guys like Daniel Mosteller are still in the thick of a close pack on back. We might be seeing our second yellow sometime soon as Holmes begins to make a gap once again. One driver with a lot of confidence, but the rest of the field laying back with a lot of aggression.
Check out third place, which is really the battle for second. This is Lee Heron down on the low side in that red and white number 22. He's been trying to make the top groove work, and he's found a lot of speed, but now he's going to have to change lanes, try to go down the inside of Oliver Cordell, and that's not where he wants to be. He was making all of his time really rip riding around the top, using the cushion to his advantage, and you see Max Brady starting to get impatient, and just as I say that white and red 22, he moves back to the top side of the racetrack. Wouldn't be surprised to see him go back on the offense now.
It might be a switchover move. Trying to get a slide job going on a dirt track is harder than a pavement, and it does not pay off for now. But the battle remains, and it's going to be a way up the track. Oh, we got trouble. One of the wall, that's Max Brady. He keeps it going, but he gets hooked real hard, and he's going to fall back big time after that.
Max Brady just got out of the rhythm, out of the groove, and ended up hitting, I believe it was Ryan Andrew there on corner entry, and both of them fall back several positions, but they saved the car from spinning, which is a miracle in itself. I think that's just kind of a fact that we're here in the strength of field race. All of these drivers extremely talented behind the wheel.
Absolutely talent, and you might know some of these names, guys like Ryan Doucette, coach drivers, if you're looking even throughout the field in the back, guys like Jordan Coots, a Road to Pro machine. These are the highest talents in the entirety of iRacing, and it always shows the way that they race. That could have been a major stack up, but since these guys are that good at car control and truck control, we kept on going. We're going to avoid that second yellow for now as they keep working their way down the back. Looks like most of the pack is single file.
I tell you what, I think it's Oliver Cordell, our second place runner. I think he's kind of being a little bit of a cork in the bottle right now, but he's doing an excellent job and he's not doing anything wrong. He's hitting his marks, he's running his pace, and it just so seems that nobody can get by Oliver in that second place position. As soon as one of them has a run, they go side by side because the door opens, and here you see Blaze and Ryan trying to sort it out for the third place position, but this is all because they're getting choked up behind Oliver. And look at this, the truck's really migrating to the very, very top of the racetrack on entry there in turn one.
Oh, Blaze Crawford giving me shades of Tyler Reddick or Kyle Larson right now, running that high line just a lap ago. That was beautiful, and it keeps him in the battle right now with Doucette as they work side by side, exhilarating as the pace car, the pace truck, is out once again. Second yellow appears to be in the air.
Yeah, got another yellow flag on the racetrack just before we cross halfway here in this race. See exactly who it was here. Looks like maybe the number 12.
And I'm looking at James Floyd right now, just to break it up. It looks like the number 15 on our end. He's running the Rowdy Energy 51. He goes for a spin, and I'm going to have to agree with you. It was number 12 very close to it, but it doesn't look like that is the cause. Now, looking down the back on my perspective, it looks like James Floyd lost it and almost went into the parking lot in the infield of Knoxville.
He did send it pretty deep there, and unfortunately didn't work out, but it brings out our second yellow flag of the race right at halfway here. Going to be crossing over to about lap 25 of 50 just as they come over this 3 and 4 here. And it'll be interesting because is anybody going to be able to go and catch Timmy Holmes? It seems like when he gets out there, he just starts running a pace, and Oliver Cordell is doing a great job at holding everybody else back, but is anybody going to get free and be able to chase down Timmy Holmes in that number 1 truck?
I'm not quite sure just yet. Now, Timmy Holmes, he's been looking good as the track has progressed, and that might say something about the way his truck is set up right now. The driver seems to be well prepared for all the changes in the track surface. Guys like Cordell are still hanging tough, but it does seem like Oliver's now facing a bit of pressure, and with the field bunched up once again, we might see a battle for that catbird seat in the case Timmy Holmes makes a mistake, but at the moment, he looks pretty good so far as we come almost to our halfway point this time by.
Field is going to be in the hands, and Timmy Holmes is already on the gas. We'll see if Blaze Crawford is able to jump Oliver. Yes, he is. Blaze Crawford up to second place, and look at this. This is a swamp move trying to get Oliver on the inside, on the outside, shoving bumpers. Looks like more cars getting turned 3 wide going into turn 3.
And this is what I was expecting. Cordell looked a bit shaken up on that most recent run, but I wasn't quite sure we get this intense. They're almost 3 wide, heading into 3 and 4 once again. Down low. It is Ryan Doucette, Ryan Andrew middle. They're really splitting the gap here at Knoxville using every groove. Cordell's hanging on, but just barely. He's got a lot of pressure on to keep it going. One slip up could be multiple spots lost in even one turn. This man's getting pressured and pressured big as he stays up high lap number 28 coming this time.
Well, we're going to see if Blaze Crawford has anything for our leader, Timmy Holmes, as Ryan Andrew executes a perfect slide job right in front of Oliver Cordell, so he takes away that third place, and now it's a battle between Ryan Doucette down low and Oliver still getting some rubbed on that back bumper. That doesn't do anything for his rhythm, as you see Ryan Doucette throw a slider, and Kendall Carpenter getting turned, and now he turns Doucette. We got problems coming out of turn 2.
Oh my goodness, this is getting crazy. That could have been so much worse. Luckily, they were able to get it going for the most part, but Ryan Doucette, he's been racing as hard as he could, and it looks like he'll keep it going. That could have been a disaster. One driver loses big, and just like that, we find ourselves continuing lap number 30. Although it looks like on my end, they're bunching up again. The pace truck is out.
What a wreck there. I believe that was Kendall, and he just went 3 wide, and as he slid up the racetrack, there were still the 2 cars there. Ended up being a multiple car wreck, and my goodness. But I want to talk about this new dirt model, David, not on the trucks, but what I'm seeing on the racetrack, because we started with a pretty narrow, slick racetrack. All grooves available, but all the trucks migrated to the bottom. We're past halfway, and what did we see there? 4 wide racing for, what, 5 laps straight?
I'll tell you what, these drivers are holding nothing back. It's been really fun to watch, but you know what's been just about as fun to watch for us in the broadcast booth? There's so much more visual feedback on the way these dirt tracks sort of express themselves, with the lines coming into play, dirt being packed, the seams being much more visible, and we can see so much more than we would have seen at any other time on iRacing. Just a much better product so far, and it's only improving, just getting started. Timmy Holmes, he certainly knows his way around Knoxville right now. The rest of the field might have some catching up to do as we get it back going next time by.
I'm looking for that inside lane to get another really good jump, but can Blaze Crawford hang on with that outside lane? The pace truck's going to be coming off of the racetrack this time by. We're going to be working 18 laps remaining when we get the green flag. Timmy Holmes bringing them to the line nice and slow, waiting for that jump. There he goes. Great restart once again from our leader in the #1 truck, but key from Blaze Crawford was able to hang with him. Now we've got Ryan Andrew trying to pull a slide job down underneath, 2 wide, battling it for second place down the back straightaway. Still 2 wide going into turn 3. Looks like Ryan Andrew trying to work that low side, but is it going to be Blaze Crawford? And now we got problems coming out of 4.
And this is a big one, big spin in the back of the field, and just like that, it's calamity. Jordan Coates spins now. We've got a big pack and a big wreck, and the yellow flag is due to fall again. We have seen some chaos, and that might have been the most intense, the wreck that just kept on wrecking.
So unfortunate. This happened about 5th, 6th place here. You're seeing them all work the high side and then just ultimately kind of get turned in front of the field. And when we're working a restart like that, there's just so many trucks piled into the same spot. When a little mistake happens, especially on the dirt, it's all about rhythm. You can find yourself rhythming into another competitor quite quickly.
And just like that, Max Brady gets the short end of the stick and finds himself now way back in the field, scored in 21st. He's certainly not happy. Jordan Coots, who also gets spun, is going to be in position number 20. So now that we're seeing these guys begin to get accustomed to the feeling, it's getting a bit racier here. And with so few laps remaining already, I don't think we've seen the least of it.
I agree with you. I think things are definitely going to start to heat up at Knoxville, and not physically on the racetrack because, well, actually, you know what? I take that back. We started at 70 degrees in the mud, and I'm seeing it's currently at 71 degrees in the mud. So maybe the Predator having a tough time identifying where the groove is out here on the racetrack. But with this few laps remaining, I agree. Everybody's going to want to get those positions. The give and take game is going to be all about take. And who are your friends out on the racetrack? I tell you what, they're getting fewer by every turn. And looks like now the pace truck lights are off. So 13 laps to go when we get the green flag. Can anybody challenge Timmy Holmes? Blaze Crawford had a heck of a restart in that outside lane last time. It was Ryan Andrew that made the low groove work. Can he make it happen again? Looks like.
I'd have to say, with how similar these guys are in performance, it's going to be really close as Timmy Holmes gets a huge jump. And once again, we're back on the way. With drivers this good, I'm sure we're going to have a fierce battle as it's now Andrew and Crawford side by side for the second spot. Double file several rows deep, but Timmy Holmes keeps a commanding grip on the lead as we head down to the start-finish line all over again.
I tell you what, Blaze Crawford is squeezing Ryan Doucette up at the wall, but Ryan is really making that top side work. Now Blaze throws a big-time slider trying to make the low and the middle side of the racetrack work. But I tell you what, if you want to find the fastest groove around the racetrack, just take a look at that white #1 in front. Timmy Holmes, no matter what lap he's on, he seems to find the fastest way around this Knoxville raceway, but it's all up to Andrew and Crawford to battle it out for second right now.
Now, the biggest thing at a track like Knoxville is rhythm. Timmy Holmes definitely has it, and he also has confidence to give away. And right now, Ryan Andrew is taking what he's giving. Andrew's been able to break away just a bit into second, and he might be quick enough to go chasing. Last time by, he was just about dead, even with the pace of your leader, and he might be able to suck in just a bit more with that draft and maybe make a real run at the first official win here in the Maconi Setup Shop C-Fix Series, but not for long. Blaze Crawford mixes up as well, and now we've got a three-way dogfight up in front.
Yeah, it is trying to settle out for P2, P3, P4 in this finishing order for the race. And the other one who's come up through the field, who we haven't even mentioned today, Julian Valadez in 6th place. He's trying to overtake there for 5th. He, I think, is our biggest mover so far. He's up about 11 positions as he's kind of blinking in and out of our timing and scoring. One heck of a run for Julian so far.
Our Charger, he's being charged hard. They're almost into each other right now. I'm not quite sure if you see the same way I do. They're interconnected, the 4 and the driver right with them, and that looks to be Lee Heron. Oh my.
You are right. It's a little bit of an interesting battle that Lee Heron has on his hands right here. It's kind of like they got magnets inside the car, but this time Julian is able to escape that. But check out our leader, Timmy Holmes, starting to stretch it out a little bit, about 3 truck lengths now over Ryan Andrew. It's really come down to Blaze Crawford and Ryan Doucette, this battle for the 3rd place. Call it the last step on the podium.
And he's looking real good off the specifically exit for Timmy Holmes. Everyone's charging it deep on that entry, trying to get a lunge for a spot. It's a short-term game, but it looks like right now the long-term losses are in full display. Ryan Andrew bunches it up once again, almost on the exit, but Timmy Holmes has something in that thing that keeps the power down. Let's make it 5 laps to go as Timmy Holmes leads the way, and the pace truck now leads him. We've got a yellow once again.
Yeah, yellow flag on the racetrack. This is for Daniel Mosteler, but I believe
Sean Rafferty went upside down almost.
Sean Rafferty got turned into the wall, collected Daniel Mosteler as well as a couple other trucks. So Sean Rafferty has been in the thick of it tonight. Got stuck on his side. I actually still see him stuck out there waiting for the tow truck to come tip him back over.
It looks like we've got some big trouble here in Knoxville. Sean Rafferty, almost the first guy to go up and over in this series. And luckily for him, he wasn't entirely. That collects Mosteller. Looks like it collects Justin Bothello too. And that's a real shame. Guys like Demos, big-time drivers in the iRacing scene here. They want to make a good display each and every night. Does not look like it's going to work out on the back end of the field. My, oh my. Things are getting heated here in Knoxville.
Oh my goodness. And Sean Rafferty, I see, is playing turtle out there on the racetrack, trying to get flipped back over. Now he takes the tow truck back to pit lane, but I think he was hoping one of his competitors would go and knock him back onto his wheels so he could continue the race. But this brings up an interesting topic here, David, because we're going to be getting the restart here. Are we going to keep it clean? Or are we going to see a GWC?
Oh, that remains to be seen. You might have noticed it. Timmy Holmes has apparently disconnected from the session. I don't see him anymore. And now Ryan Andrew from Maconi Setup Shop is your leader. What a storybook ending it could be, but Andrew still got to drive the part to get it done. Here am now. One last chance. Timmy Holmes disconnected. Packet loss on his end. Let's see who gets the win as we're here once more. Let's get the final restart on its way.
Ryan Andrew leads, but Blaze Crawford throws a huge slider and gives a door bang to our leader, Ryan Andrews, and it's going to be Blaze Crawford with the traction down the back straightaway as we go 3 wide into turn 3 for 3rd place, but it's all about Blaze Crawford versus Ryan Andrew up front. We've got the white flag in hand. Blaze Crawford now takes a big old door bang from Ryan Andrew as he puts the number 19 Maconi Setup Shop in the lead going down the back straightaway. He's looking 2 more times and he takes a huge shove. This opens the door. Who's gonna take the win? Looks like it's gonna be Ryan Doucette taking the chicken dinner away from everybody else.
And he's a winner. Ryan Doucette wins the first top split Maconi Setup Shop C-Fixed race. I can't believe it. Doucette had the door open at just the right time, and he's the big man on this big night. What a way to do it.
Oh my goodness, a controversial finish. I wouldn't have it any other way to start this NASCAR Class C Maconi Setup Shop Fixed Setup Series, but it all ends with Ryan Doucette parking it in victory lane there. Good job, Ryan. What we're gonna do, take a quick break, be right back with your official results and any post-race interviews as Ryan goes and burns it down.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
It all ended with fireworks and Ryan Doucette taking the win, but this was the drama on the racetrack. Blaze Crawford sending it deep on Ryan Andrew there, and ultimately it ended in tears here in turn 3 and 4, David.
I can't believe this one. Looking it back, Ryan Andrew thought he had a big shot here, and he put a shot in the arm for that driver right in front. Andrew takes a big slide in. He tries to make it right by the one foul swoop, and it looks like he does for a moment, but Blaze Crawford is having none of it as they take it down the backstretch. Take a look at this move. There's nothing more that can describe it. And Doucette had the perfect lane, and he gets the win from that accord. Beautiful driving from Doucette. He did what he had to do to get that checkered flag for himself.
And you see the chaos behind, but it's a controversial finish. I wouldn't have it any other way in dirt Racing, and here are the official results. It is Ryan Doucette coming home with the win. Oliver Cordell, second place. Oliver, what a race. Remember, he was our pole sitter, fell back a little bit, but ends up finishing second. Blaze Crawford with the big-time contact there comes home third. Julian Valadez, I believe, one of our biggest movers, up 12 positions to finish fourth. Jackson Crowder with the top five. Logan Banfield here in sixth. John Hall seventh. Jordan Coots in eighth. Max Brady ninth. And then Garrison Hogan with the top 10.
And your top 10 separated by 2 seconds, 2.1 off the point, was Lee Harone, followed shortly by Daniel Mosteller. Then going to be Brandon Gibbs in 13th. Position 14 goes to Mark Frimpong. Ryan Andrew, the race heartbreak, comes home 15th, just ahead of Zeke Willis in 16th, with Sylvian Saborn in 17th and Justin Bothello in 18th. Kendall Carpenter is in 19th, and the driver who dominated this event, Timmy Holmes, comes home in 20th.
And then you see just a couple more with DNF. Sean Rafferty, who we saw, got involved with a couple, and then James Floyd, the third, out there with a DNF as well. And just a couple notable names I just want to mention. Up double-digit positions, Daniel Mostler up +10. Garrison Hogan up +10. Jordan Coots up +11. But our biggest, Logan Banfield there in sixth place, up 15 positions, almost comes home with the top five. So these names, we're all getting to know them out here in this strength of field race, and it looks like we actually have our race winner who's going to be joining us. Ryan Doucette, congratulations on taking home the race win here at Knoxville, Ryan.
Thank you. I didn't expect to hear those words tonight after this race.
Well, I thought you had plenty of speed out there. You were battling inside the top four really for the last half of the race, but give us your thoughts, give us your emotions on those last couple laps.
Well, it was definitely a there's a lot unfolding in that second half of the race. It started with Timmy falling through and losing connection to the server under yellow, and then Blaze and Ryan Andrew going at it there at the end, and they just made a big enough hole. Well, Blaze really just took out Ryan, and I was in the right spot to make the move to the front.
Well, I mean, you called it as you seen it out there, but let's talk about the new dirt model. How did you like it? It seemed like the track came in very nicely. There was 4 wide racing on the racetrack, but what did you think of it?
It definitely wore it. The lane definitely changed, and it wore a lot less than it has in the past. Mm-hmm. These were my first laps on it, kinda, so I didn't do much preparation. Maybe like 10 laps of practice before this race. So, it was very bottom. Well, it seemed like the bottom was fast by yourself, but if you're racing in a pack, you kind of want to be in the top, and that's where you're gonna make your passes happen. But yeah, I'm not quite sure I like it more than the previous dirt model, but maybe it'll grow on me. We'll see.
Well, I saw the same exact thing out there. It seemed like the track was a little bit slower to change, and then you were spot on with the line and then the 2 wide racing. And before I let you go, is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to, say thank you to, that helps you get it done here on the iRacing service?
Yeah, shout out to all the Altus Esports guys cheering me on during that race. I guess you guys for broadcasting this race, and good luck to Maconi Setup Shop with their sponsorship of what was the C-Fix series.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ryan. And ultimately, you bring home race number 1 win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, that was Ryan Doucette, your winner. And it looks like we're actually going to be joined by a few others here in the booth. I'm trying to figure out who's up next. I believe it's going to be Blaze Crawford is going to be joining us. He's standing by with David Kreutz.
And Blaze Crawford with us after a hard-fought battle here in Knoxville, eventually coming home on the inaugural podium here in the Maconi Setup Shop C Fix Series. And we saw some great racing. These dirt trucks were having a fun time at the dirt track. So how was it for you with your machinery up front?
It was fun. We started like mid-pack and picked off a few cars here and there, and I felt pretty good. It's the first time I've been on the new dirt refresh, so it was a little bit different. I was trying to figure out how you really drive it, and by the end I felt like I had a good grasp on it. But and then things happened after that.
And certainly a lot of things happen all night long. A late race restart to conclude this one. And I have to ask, very, very new formula here for the dirt on iRacing. How did it adapt, or how did you adapt to it as the night went on?
Just trying to figure out which lane was the best, and that was ultimately was able to keep me moving forward. And then the wreck with Max in front of me got me a few spots, so was kind of got lucky there to get up into second and third. But I don't think I really had anything for Timmy. He was pretty fast, but felt like we might have had a shot there at the end.
And taking what you could in a very exciting ending lap there. I'll tell you what, a lot to unfold in just that moment. When it comes down to this truck and the races we're going to have all season long, do we expect to see you up front once again looking for the checkered flag?
Oh yeah, no doubt. We'll definitely be running it back. Hopefully Ryan isn't too upset with me. I went in there, used him up just a little bit in the first corner going on that restart, and he did it back a little bit harder, and I think I got tunnel vision there in a 3 and definitely got into him too much. Didn't want to spin him out, but I wanted to win, and I had to do something. I couldn't just settle. So I don't have anything bad to say about Ryan Andrew. He's a good guy. I like him a lot, race with him a lot. Hopefully he's not too upset with me, but I would understand if he is, So had to do what I had to do. We just couldn't get it done.
Hence racing up in front, but still for Blaze Crawford coming home here with a podium in Knoxville. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank after this exciting debut race?
I'd like to thank Max Brady for staying out of my way that whole race. His good support. He put a good Q lap down. I thought he would have something, but fell back to the field. But just I'd like to thank him, and I'd like to thank you guys for the stream. Had a blast, had some fun, and we'll be back for more sooner or later.
And looking to be back, Blaze Crawford with a great first impression, hard fought all night long, and coming home here third in the inaugural race at Knoxville. And that was your third place finisher. Still looks like we got one more waiting, so I'll send it back to Joey as Ryan Andrew joins us in the broadcast booth.
So, we just heard from one side of the story, but Ryan, you're sitting down here with a 15th place finish. Tell me, what are your emotions right now?
Yeah, definitely upset with the 15th place, but it was a fun race overall. I mean, there was no wall riding or anything like that, so it definitely made it better.
Well, and I thought you ran one heck of a race. It was awesome to see this new dirt model really come to life out here. I already asked our race winner, what did he think of it? But what did you think of the dirt model? It's all brand new here on iRacing. Did you adapt to it quickly?
Yeah, I didn't get much practice before the race, but it was definitely not that hard to figure out. But it was definitely a big improvement over what it had been.
Well, and we see you here rocking the Maconi Setup Shop setups. Let's see here, livery on the truck, and awesome to see it out here. Awesome to have you out here in the Class C fixed stuff. I know that you're always fast on the racetrack. Are we going to see a championship effort out of you here?
Well, I'm going to try my best this season.
That is the attitude to have. And Ryan, before I let you go, anybody you want to say hi to?
I really just want to thank Tango Paints for doing my paint scheme, and we're going to try and go get some wins this season.
Well, that was Ryan Andrew, not representative with a 15th place finish. Definitely had more speed on the racetrack than where he finished. And looks like we actually have our special guest who's going to be joining us here. But before we get to him, I actually want to roll this really awesome video to show us who's going to be joining us here in the booth. Well, it's only appropriate that after a dirt race at Knoxville, we bring in a real-world dirt expert. We have Chris Ferguson joining us here in the booth. You just saw some action, what he throws down on the racetrack. Chris, happy to have you here.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you guys having me. I enjoyed the broadcast, and just like the real-world stuff, I enjoy seeing trucks on dirt. So there was definitely no lack of excitement.
No, it was no lack of excitement. We saw a few hearts broken, and you were telling me had a little bit of a heartbreak at Eldora this past weekend as well, but we'll skip over that. Talk to us more about what your future schedule is going to be holding this summer in that late model schedule.
Yeah, for sure. We got all the crown jewels circled. The 100,000 win North South 100 at Florence Speedway, the World 100, the biggest race of all at Eldora come September, the Dirt Track World Championship, the World Finals at Charlotte, the PDC Prairie Dirt Classic. All these races are paying 50,000 to 100,000 to win, and that's the cool thing about what dirt late model racing's doing nowadays. It's spending they're spending a lot of money to win in these events, and the fans are showing up. So just got to get our stuff turned around a little bit better so we can win some like we did last year.
And I agree with you, Chris. It's amazing what the local race cars, call it the NASCAR home tracks and whatnot, do. And if any of you are listening to this broadcast and you have a local racetrack out there, I highly encourage you to go out there because, like Chris is saying, it is some of the best racing you will ever see on a week-to-week basis. And the rivalries are intense. The racing is awesome. And trust me, the prize money is dangled out there as well. And that's what brings these competitors like Chris Ferguson out to the racetrack. And Chris, I got to ask you, since we're here on the virtual side of things, do you get to be involved in the simulator very much?
Yeah, there's a couple things I'm involved with. You know, I don't really advertise this, but I am a tester for iRacing for the dirt side. Specifically, have been working with them for the last 2 months on this build for the dirt remodel, along with the dirt late model sprint cars, everything else they're doing. I also, me and Jeff know each other because of this, but one of one of Jeff's old builders, one of his main builders for the dirt side, Evan C. Me and Evan actually own a speed shop together, which is everybody thinks that everybody's enemies, but I support Jeff and Jeff supports us. So, we have a dirt speed shop that does a little bit of asphalt stuff. And then the other thing that I'm probably one of the most proud of is I co-own a business called Team VLR, and we put on the largest single day iRacing event. Pays 6,000 to win. And it's in a couple weeks from now. It's a dirt late model race. Pays $6,000 to win. It's an $18,000 purse. And myself and Howard Weaver on that, which Jeff knows Howard too. And so I got my hand a little bit in everything, but I do get to watch all the broadcast. I do watch what's going on in the NASCAR. I was actually at the World Championship at the NASCAR Hall of Fame. That's actually the first time I got to meet Jeff in person. And yeah, I dabble a lot in the sim, I'd say.
Well, I want to say thank you because it seems like your work here on this dirt model was really paying off tonight. I don't know if you heard it from our podium finishers, but they loved it. They were able to race multiple grooves out there, 2 wide racing. However, the fastest groove was definitely still single file. But when you had a challenge, you couldn't do that. You had to go out there. And then once you were, it seemed like it was 4 wide racing out there. So thank you, man. You did an awesome job.
Well, I appreciate that. And I can't take all the credit. Tyler Hudson, Dylan Wilson, Travis. There's a lot of guys that put in a lot more time than I did. And I'm just appreciative that iRacing does this. You know, they try to update, you know, and keep everybody happy, whether it's NASCAR, you know, off-road, road course, asphalt. You know, they do their best to keep everybody relevant. And we enjoy the service, and if it wasn't for iRacing, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing now.
Well, just a couple more quick things here, Chris. Are you going to be back at the Coke Championship this year? Jeff is wanting to know.
I believe so. As of now, you know, Jeff sponsors one of the same teams that that one of my partners, WR1 Sim Chassis, sponsors. So I would say if Chad's flying into Charlotte, and as long as I'm not racing out of town, I'll more than likely be there for sure.
Well, and lastly, I know that I've become a fan of just sitting here talking to you, especially with what you are doing with iRacing and helping improve all of this dirt model stuff. Where can others who have been listening find you, find info about you? Where's your schedule? Where's more about following you?
ChrisFerguson22.com, and that's where my website is. There's got links to our schedule, information about myself, you know, the bio, what we've done in the past, and you know, the merchandise website, which is huge, and then also everything social media, Chris Ferguson 22. It's whether it's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, basically all that. And you know, with the way social media works nowadays, we always try to create cool content, and just like what Maconi's doing over here at Maconi Entertainment, we're always trying to put out cool stuff that people like. So follow along and check us out when you get a chance.
Well, Chris, it was a pleasure to have you up here in the booth. Thank you very much for everything that you do. And that's going to end it up here for our broadcast. We want to say thank you to our race sponsor, Maconi Setup Shop, as well as our broadcast partner, Maconi Competizone. Calling the action tonight was myself, Joey Atterbury, alongside David Kreutz in the booth and Ryan Bauer producing. Thank you to all of our viewers for watching tonight's racing action, and we hope that you will stay tuned to all of our social media pages for the next race. And of course, thank you to the entire staff in working and bringing this racing action to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We will see you next week, same time.